As we begin, let's talk about our number one man. And our number one man, who should be here someplace, did I walk? I think I left him right here because he was our number one man, is Nathaniel Donald. He's known as Nate. This man is the kingpin of Bartow, of the drug sales that occur. He's the tip of the spear or the head of the snake. He's not a pharmacist, but those under his command will make sure that you have marijuana, fentanyl, crack cocaine, MDMA, all kinds of pills to include oxycodone, hydrocodone, ketamine. We did 6 wire intercepts and 9 search warrants, 8 of the search warrants in Bartow back in November of last year. And guess what? $50,000 in drip. But I want you to imagine this for a minute. People continue to tell you that drugs are low level and nonviolent. They're anything but low level and nonviolent. Where you see $50,000 in drip, where you see, that not so dangerous drug of cannabis, you see guns, and you see first-degree murder from overdose. So I am over it. I am over it when people tell you that drugs are low level and nonviolent. And the men and women that you see here today representing the hardworking detectives, and I can tell you, my narcotics teams are the very best. They have to stand in the face of firearms like this when they serve search warrants. We have to spend the money on T3s, as we call them, wire intercepts, in order to effectively bring down organizational groups. And the reality is, Nathaniel, or Nate, is at the top. But let me introduce you to some of his workers. Troy Walker is the person that sold the drugs to our 65-year-old victim. She bought these drugs on a Saturday night. She took some of these drugs, and on Sunday morning, she was walking out of her house to church when she collapsed. So she died so Nate could have this drip. Did you hear what I said? He's buying this drip from selling drugs to people on the streets, one of which died. And this is the first time in the history of the sheriff's office that we've actually monitored conversations about their scurrying around after she died from Troy selling this drug. So where did Troy get it from? Another member, Brian Merrick, or Myrick. Brian is 42. He sold the crack cocaine to Troy. Troy sold the crack cocaine to our victim. Listen, he was released from prison for serving 4 years on a 3-year minimum mandatory where we arrested him before. He was still on probation from that time when we arrested him again. This is really kind of the pivot guy in Bartow. He is the main street pusher, the main connection between him and those that are selling and using on the streets. 32 people are listed here, but we're focusing on this. He's already been to prison on 2 occasions, and now he sold the drugs to Troy, who had been to jail or prison on 2 occasions, and killed a 65-year-old lady. If these guys aren't in jail, if they're not in prison, they're selling drugs on the streets in Bartow. They just are. And everybody in Bartow knows it, but they're afraid of them. Then you have Herbert Merrick. He sold Brian Merrick pills. Merrick would sell Merrick's cocaine. Merrick told Merrick that he fronts the pills to the girl so he can kind of get them coming back. And then he does other business with them. He's currently out on bond. Oh, just a thought. He's been in prison too previously. And then there's Isaiah Donnell. He's Nate's brother. We arrested him in February of 2024 for trafficking in cocaine, and he was out on bond. And guess what happened in October of 2024? He comes back up on our T3, still dealing dope, while he's on bond for trafficking from 6 months earlier, waiting on charges. You see, folks, these people will never quit selling dope if they're not locked up. And people die. And we have the empirical evidence that they die from it. Then there's Elijah Nahad. He's 23. He was the marijuana dealer. He's the connection from Orlando selling the marijuana. We caught him selling 11 pounds to Brian Merrick. And guess what? He came up on our T3 with a lot of details. Then there's Miguel Cabalero Medina. He's 24. He's from Venezuela. Now, this is part of the frustrating confluence of federal immigration issues and local law enforcement issues. He's in this country illegally. And guess what? He was trafficking in MDMA. We caught him with a pound of it. We're waiting on the lab to return the results, but we caught him with a pound of what we believe to be ketamine. We had a trafficking warrant out for his arrest. We arrested him as part of the T3. He made bond. We had an immigration hold on him. So when he made bond, the feds came and picked him up, because that's what they do when they're finished doing business with us. They picked him up and deported him. He still hasn't answered for the trafficking in our jurisdiction, but he's now in Venezuela. So what we've done is we've issued a capias for his arrest. If he ever comes back into the United States, we will at that point